Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I debated on it. I figured I'd go ahead and go live tonight because I watched the town hall and it didn't turn out to be a town hall. Pretty much an interview. And uh, so the time went by. I thought it might have been over by 9:30 or so, but it went all the way past 10 o'clock. So we've had another tragedy happen in Texas, and a lot of things going on. High pressure for the Harris team. Instead of me saying Kamala la la, things are starting to shape up that I'm not too crazy about, and I don't think you all would be very crazy about it either. What kind of videos I'm seeing being put out, what kind of narrative I'm seeing being set. But we're ready for anything, right? So everything that's going on, Tim Walsh, he's getting subpoenaed. They want to know about $250 million plus that got scammed out of the CVID money. You know, when he was authorizing these SWAT squads to march down the streets and fire ordnance at family members sitting on their porches at night. Yeah, that episode. They're missing $250 million, and Congress wants to know where it's at. And they've subpoenaed records. They want stuff. The 18th. That's a date we know about, and all the things we have going on with the school situation, with Walsh being subpoenaed to bring documents to Congress. We have a Chinese spy got arrested, and her husband with Kathy Hochul. We got the Gold Star parents coming out and getting all over Walsh and Harris for using them for political gain. You got Fannie Willis's daughter getting arrested for driving unsuspended. You got judge ruling that Kennedy's got to keep his name on the ballot. What was that, Wisconsin? Biden sitting there talking to himself, doesn't know where he's at, sitting behind somebody called a Fisher Price desk. And Ukraine, it's got mass resignations going on. I might do a picture show tomorrow and put some stuff up there for you all to get for your records. Half the government's resigned in Ukraine. No reporting on that. Russia's put out a serious warning about new missile systems that they're considering giving Ukraine. And BRICS is getting more members, and Putin's in Mongolia negotiating a pipeline to run through Mongolia while he's got a warrant for his arrest that Mongolia is ignoring, and they're giving him a heads of state treatment. And what all this stuff going on, all this historic stuff. What is Christopher Wray, Merrick Garland, and Lisa Monaco come out and babble about? Russian interference in the election. Say there's indictments coming down. And the rumors are, not that, I don't know if it's true or not, but it's pretty odd that rumors are it's Tim Pool, maybe one of them, they're going to claim as a Russian operative. And I just talked about him. I've talked about him many times. I told you I had a feeling, didn't I? You all are my witness. My witness. I brought him up last night. Now, word on the street is he might be targeted by Justice Department being accused of being a Russian agent. Him and, of all people, Benny Johnson. Can I get a witness? Hi, Jason. How you doing? Gloria, Wayne, Melinda, Miss Mendersu, and Kathy. Mike, Ravens, Debbie. Nice to see you all. Tennessee. It's nice to see everybody rolling in. But now, Em, how you doing? Yeah, here comes the we've always had it, Em. Propaganda and censoring. Elohim, how you doing? So, boy, I told you, when I got a feeling about something, I kept, all the creators, come on, folks, all the creators out there, and he wasn't the only one that brought it, but I would bring up specific creators and I would say, I think there's something up with them helping cut the lights on and reach the other side. And Tim Pool is who I'm talking about. And boom, you get this big situation where they're going to be indicting people, okay, and investigating people for this specious business of being Russian operatives. When they sit there and catch a spy, arrest a spy and her husband, that made me think of Dianne Feinstein, this Hochul situation. Dianne Feinstein having a spy for 20 years, her chauffeur. Makes me think about Fang Fang with Swalwell. Makes me think about the professors from Ivy League colleges, Yale, Harvard, getting arrested for taking monthly salaries like $50,000 a month, giving away technology, okay, influencing their courses, I suspect. And so now we have this top aide to Hochul. Hi, Roland. How you doing? Ann, how you doing? Well, I've got a map that shows High Flannel Cheese, the range of these weapon systems they're talking about giving to Ukrizzle. So, and Mr. T, he posted something. Did you all notice Mr. T post anything that rang a bell? I got a screenshot of it. I'll show you during my picture show. And I'm not lying to you. This is about the 5th time he's rang a bell with me. It's just a coincidence, right? Let me find it. Did you all see anything on Mr. T's network, Truth Social, that rang a bell? See if anybody got it. Or do you all spend a lot of time on there, Truth Social? You should. You really should. Let's see if anybody gets it. Hi, Yvonne. Sandy, Debbie. Nice to see you. Lots of stuff dripping out. That's right. Hey, how do you like my new screen? Well, I don't know if you all could tell the difference, but they gave me an option to change my screen. But anyway, Trump said something about unions and different things. He said, I want to see if anybody got it. He used a phrase that I use a lot. I can't believe nobody saw it. I can't believe nobody saw it. The Malaysian Prime Minister will announce his country's interest in joining BRICS at a meeting with Putin. on the sidelines of the European Economic Forum, according to a statement from the Ministry of Affairs, or Eastern Economic Forum, I'm sorry. Another one joining. Liz Cheney, she's endorsing Kamala Harris. That should tell anybody with working brain cells that Liz Cheney is a fraud. A fraud worse than the level of Ann Navarro, claiming they're a Republican. Oh, my goodness. I'm seeing if anybody got it. Well, it's just a silly little thing. Maybe I'll save it for picture show. I don't know. Well, I'll go ahead and tell y'all. I don't see anybody getting it. I'll read it to you. You all tell me if you hear anything unusual. Trump put on Truth. The car industry will be, quote, over and out, unquote. In Michigan, if the Democrats get in, if I become president again, we will dominate the industry. Automaking plants will return at record levels. How many times? Every broadcast I say over and out. So anyway, he put it in quote marks too, but it's just squinky dink. Oh, you can't get Truth Social? Why not, Miss Minister? Remember I was talking about parts unknown? I said, please change that. He said something else. I talked about, I'm MS Motorsports. How you doing? So anyway, Putin went to Mongolia, and they greeted him, and they had guards dressed in traditional wear, sitting on horses, just like they did during. And those of you who've been with me for a long time remember me talking about Russian history, okay? And I said ever since the Golden Hordes, okay, the Mongolian hordes, 1,000 years, the Russian princes have been in control of the Ukrainian territory after the Golden Hordes of Genghis Khan. So anyway, they welcomed him with soldiers on horseback dressed in historical period outfits, and people started saying, hey, you all are part of a treaty where you agree to arrest whoever we say, the International Criminal Court, so you all need to arrest Putin. And Putin's coming there to build a pipeline through the country and give them barrels of money every day. And they said, yeah, about that treaty, go away. We got an important meeting we're having. So that's what Putin was doing. I better watch what I'm saying. They'll be saying I'm a Russian operative. Hi, Lone Wolf. How you doing? Mike, how you doing? Why couldn't you chat here, Mike? I don't know. So, yeah, I got to be careful. I don't want to get my little peanut channel isn't going to matter. But wouldn't that be something? They want to arrest Elon Musk. What if they arrest Tim Pool? My goodness, talk about activating an entire generation of fence sitters. Oh, yeah, Trump had that interview where he said, yeah, the Epstein files, yeah, they'll come out. They need to come out. Hi, Richard, how you doing? So, yeah, I've got a bunch of stuff set up for a picture show, but I was watching that. I can't really watch a debate, town hall, or rally and also work on building a studio for broadcast. So I'm just going up verbally. Now, this bad situation at a school, I can't say the word, but it was a pew-pew situation. This is one of the few times where, right in my immediate memory, is the only time I understand the perpetrator survived. Is that what you all heard? Well, Jason, I have said, Poole was I joked about him wearing a beanie and being a middle of the road guy, but the bottom line is he had to be survive on channel. You can't just come out with things that are against the cabal and expect to survive and thrive on this platform. You're just not going to do it. But I figured he was an interesting situation. And listen, you catch fire when you're over the target. All right. So they want to shut him up and shut him down. What did I talk about a couple of days ago, middle of the week? He's suing. Okay. What for? Which organization he's suing? I forgot. It's in my info. For them slandering him. Next thing you know, there's rumors about an indictment. For what? For talking and being middle of the road. Who's next? Joe Rogan? Charlie Kirk? They want Elon. And they've already arrested Donald Trump. I mean, the fact of the matter is he's been arrested multiple times. It's going to get, the police state is going to affect personalities, media personalities across generations and different ideologies. I need to see if I still have that clip of Neil Gorsuch saying, sad thing about it is the way everything's written now, laws are written now, every American's guilty of a felony at some time or another in their life. What's that a nice way of saying? That's a nice way of saying people are subject to arrest. Everybody. If you can't be some skateboarding, video game playing personality that talks about current events and not worry about being arrested, are you in a free country? Then people start getting a notion of, whoa, what kind of comments did I make on Tim Pool's broadcast? Do they think I might be a Russian agent and come arrest me too? Well, Elon might buy you Tizzle Roland. But that's a pretty big lift. That's a pretty big lift. I thought about something and I decided not to say anything about it. But I'm gonna mention it now. When the assassination attempt happened with Donald Trump, for a couple of times over the years, I mentioned that Trump was protected. One way he was protected was if anything happened to him or any of his loved ones, that there would be swift and immediate retribution, like kind retribution. And that was one of the things keeping him safe. That was the talk years ago, that top level CABAL people, okay, Ka and then Bal, people were told, anything happens, we don't care. You better hope he gets a good night's sleep every night and nobody does nothing to him, because anything happens to Trump, we're coming after you. And that was the word on the street. How you doing, jet lag? And this attempt happened, and I said, well, it was a screw up. This was not something that was part of the show. And then the generals came to see him that night. And then the generals sat in a row at his next rally in Pennsylvania with the bulletproof glass, showing a show of support and contrition, I believe, for dropping the ball. But somebody passed away. Within, I'd say, 48 hours, 72 hours of the attempt. And don't put the name in the chats without scrambling it up. But and I said, I'm not going to say anything about it, because the report is they passed away from cancer. But we never were told that. We were told the person, Suzi, and then that's her name, first name, CEO of this platform we're on right now, right? Nobody ever mentioned that she had cancer. She resigned abruptly. That could have been a sign that something was wrong. But for it to happen that quickly after the attempt, and being mentioned with a family history being mentioned, and ties to GOOGLE, okay, being mentioned as part of the problem. Exactly, Jason. That was the first thing that came into my mind. After the assassination attempt on Trump, I said, somebody's going to get it. Either be arrested, since it wasn't successful, but the gravity of the attempt was such that somebody might have had to check out in retaliation. So I thought that, but I didn't say anything, because, a lot of things were going on, and I didn't want to seem like one of these cuckoo channels that thrives solely on that. But it's very odd. It's very odd indeed. When's the last time Trump's had generals lined up at his rallies? And I was talking about the clip I wanted to play that got the words got taken out of my broadcasts that I really wanted people to hear. And I said, did you catch that? Doesn't that prove? And I kept on my broadcasts. When I re-listened it, the words were taken out of my broadcasts. I'll play them for you. My next picture show, I cut it down to about 20-second clip maybe. And you can go back and listen, and you'll see I'm not lying. The words were either buffered or edited out of my video. So I'm playing with fire right now, talking about what happened to that individual. Because we were talking about the possible acquisition, right, of this platform and the goggle, right? By individuals we know are being financed in part by the Department of Defense. Anybody say, oh, you're crazy. Well, Kash Patel said it. Kash Patel was in charge of appropriations for the Department of Defense. And he said Elon Musk got more money than any other contractor in DoD history. To do what? Make pickup trucks? So anyway, when you put things together like that, you start seeing an overall picture, an overview. And when you watch what's happening now, Biden, people are asking him about his press conferences and stuff. He alluded to saying he couldn't go outside because he was told by Secret Service that wasn't safe for him. Did you hear Biden say that? I see in comments on CNN videos where people, bots or whatever, allude to be careful what you say because the Trumpers will come get you. They don't say it as a joke. They'll mess up your house or they'll tear up your house or they'll target you or something like that. I haven't heard anything like that. What got released just before this event at that school? Nobody reported on it. Not one word out of the mainstream media. I got copies of the pages of the entire TRANNY festo. Remember that? Let me pull up some of that. The Tranne Festio got released within hours of it being released. Before anyone can report on it, what happens to a school? There's no such thing as coincidences. That's what's disturbing me, is that their timing is to disrupt news cycles. Yeah, you're right. It's going to get real ugly. I got a clip from a CNN video on this platform where I think it was David Axelrod said, hide your children. This is going to be a real bad campaign. Hide your children? I'll show it. When I do a picture show, I'll put it on the screen. But I got 4 pages of the Audrey. That was whatever pronouns they decided they were. The young girl that had evil intentions. That got released either last night or today. And then within hours, we have a tragic overshadowing of that release. But here's what some of it said. All 90 pages of Nashville, okay, Manny and Infesto have been released. And I got to watch what I say. I'm going to quote some of it. Quote, if God won't give me a boy body in heaven, then Jesus is a F.A. got, unquote. That was in the Festo. Somebody who was psychologically abused by an illicit system. Another quote, I can't be happy. I am meant to, and then DIE, right? Unquote. The next quote is no brown girls, comma, no love, unquote. And then I could read more, but it's it's full of crazy foul language. Just one more of a sample from the TRANN Festo is quote, brown love is the most beautiful kind, unquote. So those are the most harmless ones. So anyway, 90 pages showing exactly what this person was indoctrinated into. Totally overshadowed now by what's happened. I listened to part of an interview of a fellow student of the most recent perpetrator. His name is Cody something. And the loner thing kept to himself, didn't talk very much. But this one made it. I guess surrendered. What are we going to find out? Was it somebody in the MK and then Ultra collection that fits a different profile, more like a Thomas Crook, okay, rather than the prior half dozen or more that fit the Audrey profile, a dysphoric person who thought they were something other than they were. Now you have two situations in a row where it's Thomas Crook is what I'm gathering. I'm not certain about that. This person could have been, wearing a dress. I don't know. Kids probably don't bring it up because they've been taught not to. So we need to find out. Hi, Lori. We need to find out about these therapists. We need to see if there's any connections. And I'm sure people are working on that. They're a lot smarter than me. Yeah, Lone Wolf, there's a lot of people going to be activated. Trump brought up at the gathering tonight with on Fox about the the apartments that were being taken over in Aurora. And there's other reports coming through. But I think something very dark is going to come out. Going to come out with a thunderclap. I'm kind of looking at Tim Walz, okay? He just doesn't make sense. A lot of you who've been listening to me for a long time know that I have some experience with mental health facilities from back in the day. And over the years, we had situations where counselors and or teachers were involved in nefarious activity, if you know what I mean. And one facility I was at, I mean, had, I don't know, 50 to 75 staff members, and over half a decade, you're dealing with hundreds of people in and out. Just the percentages, you're going to have some bad apples, okay? And you get a vibe from them. So I don't know what we're going to see, but at least they're starting with this 250 million that he was technically, the buck stops with him, in charge of. That's $250 million, by the way. And that ties into what I've said many times. You'd be shocked at the amount of local money just in your own community that's abused or stolen or disappears or misappropriated, called grift. A lot of people call it grift, bribes, unjust enrichment, whatever you want to call it. It's in the millions in your own town and county. But this is beyond normal day-to-day government operations. This is from a singular incident, which was the plan and endemic. So he has, I'm just wondering about these dates. The 18th is when Trump's got to deal with this clown Mercan as far as sentencing goes. The 18th is when Jim Jordan has instructed, commanded, you are hereby commanded to produce documents pertaining to the distribution of that money and whether or not he got any benefit from it. And I don't know, they're both on the same day. We'll see. The 16th, we've got where Mercan's going to have a hearing about whether or not he's going to delay or change anything, or even wipe out the case, which I doubt that. He's under God knows how much pressure. Don't believe that probation is an answer. If they continue this, they want him jailed. It'll be the week after the debate. Also this month, and I've said it's going to play a big role. It always plays a big role. Is a government shutdown. September 30th. That's when the bell will toll about whether or not the government will continue to operate. I've seen videos, and I got screenshots of one of them, that pretty much insinuates that Trump is going to be the blame will be on Trump's shoulders if there's a shutdown. That's how they operate, how desperate they are. Kamala claims that the, might as well say amnesty bill, she said border security. So, hey, y'all, border security, y'all, didn't go through because of Trump. Now they're going to say the government's getting shut down because of Trump. That's the narrative they want to push. And we can't go back. We can't go back to the days of government shutdowns. We can't go back to the days of anger and hate and misery that they cause. And they'll continue to try to cause it until the back is broken, the spine is broken on this monstrosity that's been activated. How is Trump going to cause a shutdown? Well, he endorsed the notion that Mike Johnson put as a contingency of the government doing a continuing resolution, was that they do not allow illegals to vote. Simple. We all pass a continuing resolution, keep the government open, and we also codify and solidify the natural fact that unlawful citizens, or they're not citizens, aliens cannot vote. That's right, the SAVE Act, Roland. That's true, Lori. A shutdown is no big deal. Reagan said that. He had I don't know how many shutdowns Reagan presided over. He didn't sweat it. Yeah. When it's over, they get their back pay. And essential things like Social Security and disability and all that stuff keeps going. Yeah, it didn't have a bunch of BS attached to it. It basically was giving amnesty. Amnesty and abbreviated path to citizenship. Not even a path. You just here, you got it. You can have it. Giving away citizenship like bags of popcorn. So no, we don't want that. And no, we don't want people like that voting. Trump reiterated mass deportations. And man, another thing that they want to cover up in the news with this big announcement by Merrick Garland, Lisa Monaco, and Chris Wray was the 3-week and 2-week-old polling they were using is running out, and the real numbers are showing. They're basically going back to a Joe Biden collapse in the swing states, most particularly. So much so that Kamala had to go to New Hampshire to campaign. This late in the game, been farting around for over a month and a half, or going on a month and a half, doing one little bitty interview. Now they got to put the pedal to the metal and try to rescue a state like New Hampshire. Then they get caught bussing in people to New Hampshire. Can't even draw a crowd in New Hampshire. Trump's polling shot up. Where do they have him at? 51% to 47. Now it's at 52 to 47. This is just the last couple of days. When earlier in the week, no, he's 53 to 46. I'm sorry. That's on Polymarket. 53 to 46. So then you have Merrick Garland coming out with this Russia crap. And they don't breathe a word of Tim Walz going to China 30 times. The news doesn't breathe a word about Hochul's aide being arrested and her husband being arrested. I caught something Christopher Wray said today. Hi, Benjamin. How you doing? Did you all catch anything that Christopher Wray said? Hi, Mary. Misspell those words for me, Mary. Illgal. Okay. Misspell them. Use a 1 for an I or a 4 for an A to keep me out of trouble with the rhythm. Did you all catch Christopher Wray say something? You all might not think anything of it, but I did. Remember how in the past I said Christopher Wray said something and he was trolling the deep state? I felt. Anybody in the chats remember when I brought up a time where Christopher Wray was using their own words to troll them as a signal? Well, I heard another one. Melinda remembers when I said that, and Ravens remembers. Well, Christopher Wray trolled them again today. One of the reporters started asking, well, what are you going to do about this Russian interference? And that's when Merrick Garland was talking about, well, we got these indictments, we're going to be unsealing indictments, and we're going to charge some people who have been working to psychologically, blah, blah, blah. And then Christopher Wray said, tell him to knock it off. And then the conversations kept going. If you listen to that press conference again, I promise you, you will hear Christopher Wray squeeze in, tell him to knock it off. Now, why do I think that's trolling? Who said that? Who said that? And it was famous because that's all he did about it. And I think it was a jab, a thumb in that person's eyeball. No, Melinda, it wasn't Mr. T. I think Christopher Wray is a plant for us. And I'm saying it plump and plain because I just got an itty bitty channel that nobody listens to because I'm from parts unknown. And when I sign off, I go over and out. And when I bring up the post number 11th, the next day it gets posted. Little things like that. Well, the video was played over and over again where Obama met with Putin and he said, give me some time after the election, I'll be able to work with you on this missile deal. And that was supposedly the time, and he told everybody, I told Putin to his face about interfering with the election. Knock it off. That was 7 or 8 years ago. So, it's worth listening to the Garland, Monaco, Ray press conference. Robert Gavoy, I believe, had it. He'll put an abbreviated video that shows that. And nobody caught it. Nobody caught it in the chats. Gavoy didn't catch it, but he probably hadn't had his ear to the ground as long as we've had it. He was making fun of Obama because that was one of the things Trump brought up 7 years ago. If there was Russian interference, why didn't he do something about it? And everybody's saying he did. He told Putin to his face, knock it off. But anyway, there's an ugly sketch being drawn. Schematic. You know what? That's where the word scheme comes from. Schematic. What's a schematic? It's a plan. It's a drawing of a plan of how things connect, a scheme. There's a scheme being built up with this undertow of people talking about watch out for MAGA people. They're dangerous. Biden saying the Secret Service won't let me go out because I'm dangerous. Merrick Garland talking about people threatening poll workers, volunteers. CNN put a video out where in Nebraska, not only are they worried about New Hampshire, they're worried about Minnesota too, and New Hampshire, the one district in New Hampshire that's separate. They put up a video where people are putting blue dots, a white sign with just a blue dot in the middle in that one district. And they're going around putting it in people's yards in many cases, whether they ask for it or not. And when the person says, what's that blue dot you're putting in my yard? Oh, it's just a sign of solidarity. And it said that on the CNN banner at the bottom, it said, the power of one. I'll show it to you when I do a picture show. The power of one. This was during the blue dot video. And what they're telling people, the power of one, we all get together, is the power of many. Remember I was talking about the acolyte with the lesbian witches? Leslie Headland, who was Harvey Weinstein's personal assistant, and this is a Disney project. The lesbian witches were chanting to the sky, the power of one, the power of many. And the other character, his wife, came up with the idea for it to be witches instead of Luke Skywalker holding a coffee cup up and said Satan on it. My jaw dropped open when I saw that banner, the power of one. People say, oh, you're crazy. Am I? Am I really? So they're putting these blue dots, and then everybody in the chat's putting blue dots. So I almost put in the chats, Uh, does that mean it's okay for me to call Kamala a dothead? A lot of you will get that joke. So don't let anybody put blue dots in your yard. That's supposed to be supporting the power of many against Trump. So here, I see what you're saying, Lori. Old Joe going to get sick. Something's going to happen. There's a schematic. There's a scheme being drawn up. There's a narrative that's being built. And it's pointing towards an earthquake, a disruption. And I'm talking political. We found out that Russia got involved somehow. They hacked into things. Our polls were showing neck and neck. Kamala up by 1 point. How could this have happened? It happened because of the Russians. What if there's a blackout? They blame it on the Russians. Russia came out today and said, be very, very careful with what you're doing with these long-range missiles. They're going to provoke something. Then what happens? Joe takes care of his pardons. Pardons all the new neighbors, the Isle Eagles, right? Isle Eagles. See how I'm saying that differently so you don't type in the chats that way. Change it so we know what you mean, though. But the rhythm doesn't know. And he pardons all them. Maybe even tries to do an executive order that has to be challenged to the Supreme Court that gives them the right to vote. Pardons Hunter, Hillary, everybody under the sun. Then steps down. I can't, in good conscience, knowing. Now, this is Joe Biden talking now, comma, that a person who's been convicted of 34 felonies, comma, he's reading the teleprompter. And all the evidence we have against Russia for interfering through the internet, I can't in good conscience allow this person to become president. I'm resigning my office. I have full faith and confidence in our new president, Kamala Harris. Remember, you got the whole month of November, all of December, and most of January after the big day. Oh, that's right, Ravens Wings. Hit the thumbs up. That's right, Debbie. Don't forget that card. Funeral for Jimmy. That might happen to stop the debate. Kamala does not want to do that debate. But like Trump brought up today, Kamala's friends are friends of all these ABC executives. ABC's the worst as far as getting accurate information. She's got the questions. He said, I don't care if they give the questions and the answers. I don't think she'll do good. That's right. She might get West Nile, too. I'll tell them to knock it off. A Google account. How you doing? Hi, Quill. So anyway, what kind of big disruptions can they do? Now they're going to try to provoke us to do something because they want maybe with a combination of hoax threats, a mosquito-borne illness, all a supposed cyber attack, maybe even a real BO and then MB, like a big one. And oh gosh, you're talking crazy stuff. 5 years ago, 4 years ago, people would have told me I was crazy that a governor would send out policemen to fire at citizens sitting on their own porch. I don't care what it was, paintball, what it was, beanie bag. I don't care. It's projectile. And run them in their house. They said I was crazy that the whole country was going to shut down, the whole world. Now people would be walking around with something over their faces and at each other's throats. Hi, Angel. How you doing? Well, it's next Tuesday's the big debate. A lot can happen. A lot can happen overnight. Something might be going on right now I don't know about. Yeah, after Kamala's disastrous New Hampshire rally where she was caught busing supporters in from Massachusetts, Trump shot up 2 points on Polymarket. Libs of TikTok says as Trump surges in the polls, the Biden administration is now accusing Russia of interfering in our elections and are taking, quote, series of actions to counter it. Here we go again. Russia, Russia, Russia. Was it 12 buses, Raven Wings? Did you all see the picture of Tim Walz's? I mean, how many family members were wearing Walz for Trump? Stacey Abrams has a group that is suing to stop the block on non-citizen voting in Georgia. Did you hear about that? Stacey Abrams is rearing her ugly head. We have a law in place about aiding and abetting people that come to this country in violation of our immigration laws. It's a felony. Nobody walks away from this and no deals. Did you all hear about Alexa? Apparently they've fixed that. But there were hundreds of people posting on TikTok and X about Alexa, saying, should I vote for Kamala Harris? Kamala Harris is more in lines with your view, and she understands the struggles of people of color blah, blah, blah. Should I vote for Donald Trump? I'm not allowed to talk about anything political. So that's another thing was blowing up in their faces. But it's fixed now. Libs TikTok put out, breaking a group of 32 armed Venezuelans took over an apartment building in Chicago, not Colorado, tonight with the audio of the 911 dispatch. First they did it in Aurora and now Chicago. Which city will be next? This invasion happened on Kamala's watch. Hispanic voters, presidential preference. Trump beats Kamala by 5% in the Hispanic vote. Unheard of. He's at 30% is what they claim. I think that's low of the black vote. But that's snowballing. That's going to grow and grow. And Ken Paxton did an interview on Newsmax. I don't know about that Newsmax. I heard they're going public. They're going to start selling shares. But while Ken Paxton was doing an interview, you could hear somebody opening and closing drawers and stomping around, or, very distracting and unprofessional while he was talking. Somebody off camera. But anyway, Ken Paxton said that they cleared over 1 million illegal voter registry, or unlawful, I'll say, invalid. Okay, maybe better. Names off the voter rolls in Texas. 1 million. And he said that having illegals vote has been Biden's plan all along. And we've heard him say it, and we've heard Kamala Harris say it. It's not an accusation they're denying. Tim Walsh's family from Nebraska is rallying behind Trump instead of supporting the Harris-Walsh ticket. This sends a strong message and deals a major blow to the Harris campaign. Their Christmas card is definitely going to be awkward this year. What's this guy's name? This guy put this on X. Guy named RSP, red shorts. That's Nebraska is where they're doing that blue dot operation, and that's supposed to catch fire. Everybody put blue dots in their yard. If you haven't got the guts to put the name of who you support, well, they're gutless wonders. Moscow has warned the U.S. not to cross a, quote, red line by giving Kiev missiles that would be among its longest range yet. Russia warns, quote, don't cross red lines as U.S.-Ukraine missile deal is close. It's close. And they said that Russia hadn't diverted any of its troops out of Ukraine to deal with the Kursk situation. They've got that bottled up. And people coming back from the front in Ukraine are saying the Russians are moving at will in all along the front, almost as if it was a retreat being ordered by the Ukrainian army. And today, a huge mass resignations of top officials in the Ukraine government. That's right, Roland. The strike that hit a training facility and 600 casualties and close to 130 unalived. by a missile strike a couple of days ago, and a lot of them were Swedish. And I have a report from that that I didn't read because they allude. They say, well, since they're Swedish, we have to assume they were HOMOs. But so I didn't read it. And that they were, they could go to Satan and explain why they're doing what they're doing now that they've left the earth. I'm just looking through the chats here. Let's see. Donald Trump has said he would have, quote, no problem releasing more files related to convicted S3X trafficker Jeffrey Epstein if he returns to the White House. Asked why a so-called, quote, list of clients, unquote, who had visited Epstein's private island had not yet been made public, Trump said it probably will be. Scores of names associated with Epstein were made public this year when a tranche of court documents were unsealed by a judge in New York. Aha. Public figures, including Prince Andrew, former U.S. President Bill Clinton, and Trump himself, were among those named in the files released in January. Many of the names and documents were mentioned in passing, and their inclusion does not suggest wrongdoing related to Trump. But I will add to that, the client list is evidence of wrongdoing. That's right, Ravenswings, D-class. D-class. That's what all this is running up to. Well, Mark Halpern, he might as well leave it at this situation with the campaign. Because desperation is going to provoke them into doing something. What are they desperate about? They're desperate about it being almost impossible to hide their decline in the polls. They're desperate to prevent Kamala from having to face Trump on a one-on-one fair debate. Okay? They're desperate about losing the campaign. So my screen went black for a minute. That's all right. It's still working. Anyway, Mark Halpern put out between today and Wednesday, the three Harris Walsh principals, Kamala, Tim, and Doug, will be doing events in New Hampshire, Minnesota, and Virginia. The three blue states Trump seemed to have put in play right before Biden got out. No New Mexico or New Jersey yet. Coincidence? So here they're taking what little time they have, trying to shore up. I said about 4 or 5 days ago, well, maybe, yeah, whatever. I said Trump's going to win Virginia because they cleaned up the voter rolls and they have a Republican governor now. So they're spending their time in Virginia, New Hampshire, and Minnesota. Her running mate's hometown. Nebraska, the Walsh family is blowing the doors off of the campaign by all endorsing Trump. And it's a big family, and they're all running around with Walsh for Trump shirts. So And then you got part two. New Hampshire may not be in the top tier swing states in 2024 election, but granite staters are still poised to get some attention this week from one of the presidential candidates. News 9 has learned that Vice President Kamala Harris will travel to the state, and she did, and she got caught bussing in people. 12 buses, somebody reported. So as they get desperate, what are they going to do? They got to have a blow up of some sort. And this report came out real quick about Kamala at McDonald's. Says sources say Kamala was promoted at McDonald's. Did you all hear that? Kamala was promoted at McDonald's for having an affair with Mayor McCheese. That's from the Babylon Bee. So anyway, folks, well, we shall see what we shall see. But anyway, I did come up late tonight because Trump was up late. And I figured I would put a bug in your ear about some of this stuff. Very interesting. It seemed to me like the press conference was hastily arranged, that they might have had to pull the TRIGER on an operation to suppress people early. I think they had to do it early. And it's disconcerting. But we all know that they're going to do crazy stuff, and we got to be on the ball with it. And we got to be prepared for it, and we can't get emotional, and we have to make sure we VOTE. So, and not get rattled. Right, folks? So, let me see if there's anything. I want to save some stuff for my picture show. David Axelrod, hide your children. I'm looking at that one. So what are they thinking about? Well, all right, folks. I appreciate you all spending your precious time with me. I really do. I hope you gave me a thumbs up. And if you didn't, think about it on the way out before you click me off your screen. Or give me a thumbs down if you didn't like the broadcast. Let me know something. Anyway, I'll probably be going live tomorrow night. It's not 100% sure. But if you're subscribed and hit the notification bell, you'll know when I go live. So thank you all for joining me. And thank you everyone who watches the broadcast after the live stream. I appreciate you lending me your ear. So once again, just like Donald Trump said earlier today, I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.